Hi, I'm Jimmy. In this video, we're looking at Paramount Skydance. Then we're also going to look at Warner Brothers Discovery, since Paramount Skydance is in the middle of trying to buy Warner Brothers Discovery. We'll look at both of them as a potential investment to see if they're worth investing in today. So we really got to look at this business as three different businesses in one. By the way, we actually have very little historical information on this company because this company was just formed last year. So this was the combination of other companies. And shortly after forming, they made a bid for Warner Brothers Discovery, which is, by the way, significantly larger than they are. We'll come back to that in a second. But for now, here's the basics of how their business work. So their one segment is television media. This is their old legacy. Think of networks like CBS. They have Comedy Central. They have BET, Nickelodeon, MTV, channels like that. Showtime's in there. This business line is profitable for them, but it's shrinking every year. So they're trying to get away from that. Then they have their direct-to-consumer business. This is Paramount Plus and Pluto TV. Pluto TV is, they have like a big free package, and it's supported by advertisements. Then Paramount Plus is similar to like an HBO Max or Netflix. And they have a whole bunch of content already on there. This is their fastest growing segment. Then they have their film business, their studios business, which is like their Paramount business, the Skydance movies that they make. They've done a ton of movies. Think of movies like Top Gun, Mission Impossible, Transformers, the SpongeBob movies, things like that. They have a big network. Paramount is one of the big movie franchises out there, and a lot of that content eventually ends up over on Paramount Plus. Now, this division is a bit more volatile when it comes to, from a revenue or even a profitability standpoint. If they put out a big movie, go back a couple of years ago when they put out Top Gun Maverick, made an absolute fortune, and fine, the company does very well because of that. But beyond that, if they don't have a big year, it's far more volatile. Let's just keep that in the back of our mind. Okay, now this brings us to, what does the future look like for Paramount Skydance? Well, a lot of it is obviously revolving around the direct-to-consumer business, their streaming platform. So Paramount Plus has about 80 million subscribers. But now let's imagine that they're going to spend $10 billion over the next years creating content, creating the movies, creating all the content that they have. If they're going to spend that $10 billion, well, if we have the 90 or 80 million subscribers from Paramount Plus footing the bill, obviously, if they had double that, they could spread out that very same cost amongst many more subscribers. This is precisely where and why they would want to buy Warner Brothers Discovery. When we look through their financials, well, their financials tell us that they have about 140 million subscribers. So if Paramount Skydance were to go out and acquire Warner Brothers Discovery, and in theory, you push all of these together, give or take, where you're at, about 200 million subscribers, I'm rounding down, assuming that there's going to be some overlapping customers, because from what it seems, the plan is get all of these platforms. Warner Brothers Discovery has HBO and a few other platforms. You take them all, you combine them into a single platform. Paramount, HBO, whatever you're going to call it, who knows? But point is that now, instead of spending, even if you're not spending $10 billion, you're spending $20 billion. Netflix, I believe, had about $50 billion in expected expenses coming out the next few years. Well, even if you're putting up $20 billion in expenses to create new content, it's a lot easier to spread out that over 200 million subscribers than it is their current level of 80 million subscribers. This is why scale matters big time when it comes to streaming. And the reason a company like Disney was able to punch Disney Plus in so quickly, one, they got a little bit lucky with it happening right at the same time as COVID, so that helped them. But also, they have a lot of other streams of revenue that could feed into that. They could afford for that to lose money for a while they ramp that up. Right now, Paramount Skydance is not a profitable company. They need additional scale, otherwise it's going to take them longer and get more expensive. Now, before we jump into the financials, I just want to look real quick at the Warner Brothers Discovery side of this, because there is a potential arbitrage opportunity with that whole thing. So Paramount Skydance is supposed to buy Warner Brothers Discovery at $31 per share. Now, there's some other add-ons that could kick in, especially if the deal gets delayed, and the deal has been delayed, it looks like, till the middle of 2027. Well, as that deal gets delayed, there's some additional fees that get tacked on for Warner Brothers Discovery, but The gist of it is, let's just imagine, to keep it simple, they're going to get bought out at 31 bucks a share. Right now, they're trading at about $25.50 per share. So if we knew with absolute certainty that this deal was going to close, well, this is a no-brainer. You buy it at $25.50, and next year when this company gets bought out, it will be bought out at $31 per share. We already know that much. They've already agreed to that. Well, just like that, we're up 21% over, let's say, the next 6 or 8 months. Either way, that's a fantastic return for a very short period of time, for a relatively, let's say, a relatively safe investment, assuming we knew the deal was going to close. So they actually call this merger arbitrage or risk arbitrage. And the risk being, does the deal not close? If this deal doesn't close, and let's say no other deals, because I will point out that Netflix also offered to buy these guys. There was a few companies bidding for them, and Paramount Skydance was the one that stepped up and made the best offer that, Warner Brothers Discovery is willing to accept. But if the deal doesn't go through and the whole thing falls apart, it's very likely that the stock will pull back. But if it does go through, there's some potential upside here. Now, I read some analyst reports talking about that specialize in merger arbitrage, and they put the likelihood of this deal going through much higher than I had it. When I was looking at this, a 20% gap, that's a pretty big number, considering generally if you were this close to a deal going through and this far down the approval process, usually you'd only be $1 or $2 away from the final price. To have this kind of gap, or to have a 20+% gap, implies that the market is not completely certain that this deal will close. Now, there's a lot of political things in there, and I'm going to avoid all of that stuff. We don't know if it's going to go through, but if you are interested and if you want me to do a video specifically on this deal, or maybe on risk arbitrage or merger arbitrage in general, please let me know in the comments below. That could be an interesting one. There's some hedge funds out there, there's some funds in general, that this is all they do. They make a living off of merger arbitrage. It could be good money in it if you get good at, reading the tea leaves and understanding which deals are likely to go through. Warren Buffett made a fortune doing this type of thing. So if you're curious, let me know in the description below. For now, let's jump over and look at some of the numbers for Paramount Skydance. So first, we're going to look at the very limited history that they have. Don't forget, there's a new company after their merger in 2025 between Paramount and Skydance. Well, when we look at the chart here, this is a chart of both revenue and net income. First, we will notice it hasn't done much of anything from a revenue perspective. Let's say it stayed about flat. Net income is still negative. Now, it has ramped up and gotten less negative over the past couple of years. And when we jump over and look at free cash flow, we can see that analysts are expecting for free cash flow to ramp up and to go positive and to stay positive over the next few years. And again, this would happen. This makes sense if you think about it, because as the company scales up, you would expect for the company to get gradually more and more profitable. Now, I will also point out that I've been through a bunch of research reports that are included in some of these analyst numbers, at least the ones I could find. JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, companies like that. And when I went through them, the assumption about the deal closing is not in these numbers. They are ready to go with those numbers if the deal does close. Or the moment they announce that the deal's official and they pick a close date, one, you're going to see the Warner Brothers Discovery price jump real close to that $31 per share. It'll be short of it, just in case, but it'll jump real close. But also you'll start seeing analysts push out numbers that now have the combined companies in there. And if you hadn't read research reports or wasn't sure if analyst estimates were going to be included in the Paramount Skydance estimates for free cash flow, well, one quick way we could double check ourselves is if we jump over and look at the Warner Brothers Discovery free cash flow estimates, well, we could see that their estimates going out to year 5 is almost $6 billion. So there's simply no way that they would be included in the other numbers. So just so we know, that makes going back to Paramount Skydance, that makes Paramount Skydance all the more interesting here, because I personally believe that they need this deal to go through. I understand why they were pushing as hard as they were. This is a very competitive space to compete in, and the scale will make them very dangerous very fast. And I think that is necessary to, the idea of combining HBO and Paramount Plus, and that's a big universe right there. Warner Brothers Discovery alone comes with a very large universe of content. To be able to combine that with Paramount's already large universe of content they could rival, Disney Plus or Netflix, groups like that. That is very, very possible. So when we look at the fair value on the Investors Grow website for Paramount Skydance, we can see the stock is about fairly valued right now. Well, to me, it's interesting when you think about the combination with Warner Brothers Discovery, because we saw, just to illustrate, well, this free cash flow, if we were to adjust those numbers for, let's say, to account for 80% of the free cash flow that Warner Brothers Discovery was expected to get, let's say 80% of that came over here, well, you can see there would be a massive jump in free cash flow. The real problem becomes how they're funding that. So, one interesting point here, probably one of my biggest takeaways as I was doing this research, is look at the market cap for Paramount Skydance. Let's call this a $9 billion company. The acquisition of Warner Brothers Discovery is a $110 billion acquisition. A $9 billion company is buying a $110 billion company. That's a big ask. And it's interesting how they're doing it. So first, Paramount Skydance is going to take on Warner Brothers debt. Well, that's about 20 or so billion. They're also taking on new debt, I think of $54 billion in loans that they already have commitments for. Then Larry Ellison and Redbird Capital and a few other hedge funds and stuff, from what I could gather, they're putting up about $47 billion worth of capital. Now, obviously, this company is going to end up being much larger, but they're going to have a ton of debt. Paramount Skydance has about $15 billion in debt right now. Netflix has about $14 billion in debt. The real difference is Paramount Skydance has $15 billion in debt, and it's a $9 billion company. Netflix has about $14 billion in debt, and it's a $300 billion company. It's in a drastically different position. That's actually my biggest question mark with this whole thing. I like Paramount. I like Paramount Plus. I like the content that they have. I like a lot of the movies that they make. I'm not at all debating their content, and even Paramount Plus. I have a Paramount Plus subscription. I am a fan. But for me, the debt of this company makes it so scary. Warner Brothers Discovery is, I think, a great move for them to make. But when they do it, they're going to be so laced with debt. I question, how much that's going to hurt the company, how much returns they'll actually end up getting. Actually, I'd be far more interested in buying Warner Brothers Discovery from an arbitrage play standpoint than I am in buying Paramount Skydance at this point. But let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm really curious about this one. Now, just so we know, I actually owned Warner Brothers Discovery before, and I owned it when it was part of AT&T. They spun off Warner Brothers, combined with Discovery, and I got some shares then, and then I bought some additional shares at that point, and then all these deal announcements happened, and the stock jumped up, and I sold my shares at that point. So I am likely to not get involved with it just because I already sold out of it, and I've kind of moved on past it. But I was curious about Paramount. Last time I researched it was part of Paramount Global, and then they combined with Skydance. A lot has happened. So I'm curious what you guys think. Do you like the company? What do you think? Should I do a video on the risk arbitrage, merger arbitrage? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you want to sign up to get access to the Investors Grow website, where we try to make it quick and easy to analyze companies, I'll leave a link right here, link in the description below. And thank you so much for sticking with me all the way to the end of the video. I really do appreciate it. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.